Hello, this is Annette with Project Refine Life. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the February 2023 wrap-up. The Super Bowl was held right here in Arizona and there was a lot of events going on within the Valley. We attended the NFL experience and I really did not know what to expect. But there's a lot of activities for kids, skills type activities. So if you had a child with you, it was probably fantastic. I did stand there and just watch some of these kids do some of the drills, and that in itself was fun for me. They had tons of the jerseys on display. They had the Super Bowl rings. There was just a lot going on. There was a lot of people, a lot of energy. Books. I did get one new book in this month, and it is the Mexican Sorcery, A Practical Guide to Brujeria del Rancho by Laura Davila. I have not really started reading it. I skimmed the book. I started to read the beginning of it, and then my mind was gone. So maybe I can pick it up this month. This one I borrowed from the library. This is The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. And this is an easy read. This will probably take me just a few hours. I just need the time to settle in and take a look at this book, and I'm excited for that one. Now, this month I did a lot of reading, but I cannot remember the books that I read. Isn't that crazy? It was a weird month for me, and I'll get into that a little bit further in. But I did get into this book, and this is The Wellness Witch, which contains healing potions, soothing spells, and empowering rituals for magical self-care by Nikki Van de Kar. All right, this book, let me show you the table of contents. It has 3 sections: the internal, the external, and the home. And within those 3 sections, there are 3 sections: the healing, the soothing, and the empowering, which I thought was pretty clever, the way that she designed the book. It's a very easy to get into book. If you are starting out and you want some really solid, easy type things to do, this is a great book for that. There are some great recipes in here, which I really like. I really enjoy the recipes that are in there. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these just so I can give you an idea of the book. So this is the, in the introduction, which is pretty cool, she just lists basics. So here are some basic plants that you can grow in a home or in an apartment, your basic items for crystals, and basic items for essential oils, which I thought was really nice. So in the internal, this is all about healing from the inside out. So in the healing section, she has some really good little recipes. Kombucha, which I have not really honestly tried since, I tried it once since I've been here in Arizona. I had a really great SCOBY going in California and I had to leave it behind when we left. So I did try it once here. I think it was too hot and it didn't do well. So I am gonna try it right now before we head into spring, get it going so that way I can have my booch available for me. It has things like Ayurvedic tea, broken heart bread, which was really cool. It has a little tea ritual in here. So like I said, there's a lot of good little recipes in here. Here's a crystal chakra ritual in here. Very basic, very easy. This one sounds really good to me. Lavender chamomile cupcakes. I would go for that. But it has really basic and solid things like elderberry syrup, which everybody should, know how to do. There's a little crystal love ritual, which again is your basic little ritual, but effective. That includes rose quartz and malachite, and just holding with your non-dominant hand and then holding the malachite over your heart. Very simple, very easy. And sometimes we overcomplicate things. So for that, I really like books like this because you start complicating things. You start pulling in this, that, and the other. And you really, if you just take it and make it simple, it's so much more effective. But this one sounds good. The intentional breakfast bars, which really sounds good to me. I do want to make that recipe. And then we have things like divination tea, how to read tea leaves. There's a lot in here. There's a lot of yoga in here. Not a lot, but there's some basic poses in here as well. Some things like gentle shampoo, plantain and honey bruise and sting salve, which is a basic that you should really know how to do. This I found really neat, which are the 5 Tibetan rites, which I do go over with just about all my classes. In all my classes, I maybe vary them a little bit, but I do include that within my classes always. But there's a lot in here. And then also within, let's see, it's the second section here, which is the external. There is the healing, which is covering the earth element. And then there's the soothing, which covers the water element. And then the empowering, which is the fire element. And that was really evident here because there's a fire ritual, there's a water ritual, and then there is a grounding ritual in here as well. So overall, it's a really neat little book. I did enjoy it. It was a very quick read, but effective, and just a nice little reference book. Ancestral Grimoire by Nancy Hendrickson. I knew that I was going to receive in my deck from her this month, and I will show you in just a few minutes. But this book I've been using already, just going through the month by month section, because every month she has exercises, also tarot spreads for you for each month, which I think is wonderful. But I went through and I really kind of dug in a little bit more. I really highlighted things and started working with it a little bit more. I really do enjoy this book. So that's the Ancestral Grimoire. VRs. I did one VR, and it was the Punk and Goth Decks VR to 22 zines, and it is hashtag GothAF Decks. I had a lot of fun doing that particular tag. That was good for me this month. As I said, this was a very interesting month for me. That particular tag was nice because it was easy. It was easy for me to think of. I went down to the local record shop because I was at the mall anyway, and I just kind of did a little bit of, just a tiny bit of filming in there. There was a lot of people, so I didn't want to really interrupt into that. As far as journals are concerned, my journaling was extremely, extremely light this month. I did pull cards. I didn't do the journaling. It was just more energy than I had. I did continue with the Kentucky Oracle, so I kept that up. And then this month, as far as journaling is concerned, seriously, there is so little in here. This is where I started the month, February. Everything got started pretty darn good, especially with in bulk. But as far as journaling is concerned, I didn't even journal my moon readings. I did a total of 8 days within the month besides in bulk, and that was it. That's all I could do. This was a rough month. As far as tools are concerned, you know, I love obsidian. I work with a lot of obsidian, and I did not have an obsidian generator, and I didn't have an obsidian pendulum. So this I picked up at a local plant shop. My daughter is super into plants, and so we went and I picked up this for like $8, which was great. And then this little pendulum here I found at my local little crystal shop, and it's just a nice little pendulum, just a solid pendulum. And this one reads really, really super well for me. So that was it as far as tools are concerned. Let's get into the decks. As far as new decks coming into my collection, there was only 3, and one of them was a pre-order because I even pulled back from the whole deck purchasing this month. So this is the Barbara Walker Tarot. I had been wanting this deck for quite a while, but I'm almost thinking that I probably should have waited because I really did not have the capacity to work with this deck this month. I've just been looking at the images and I'll put it back. See, like I just do this kind of bit. I'm not shuffling it. I'm just looking at it and putting it back. This is too much for me right now. I can't work with this right now. I don't know when the time will be right for me to work with this deck. I'm not quite sure. But this is just definitely not it. The Pulp Tarot was the other deck that I got in this month, and that is because I walked into Half Price Books and I found this deck for $15, guys. Brand new, $15. I was so excited. I really love this deck. It is so cool, so easy to work with. And this deck was within the right timing for me. I didn't push the purchase. It was right there. It was available. It was discounted. And it was just perfect for me this month because I needed simple. I needed easy this month. I did not want anything complicated or complex. And I worked with it alongside a couple of decks, which is the Sacred Symbols Oracle. I absolutely adore this deck, and these two together read really, really well. I really loved it. They were simple messages, and I was able to just capture all the information, and I really didn't even journal about it. I just took my messages and went with it for the day because that was all that I could do this month. The other new deck that I got in this month was the Ofrenda Oracle, and that was a pre-order, a Kickstarter deck. And I really like this little deck. It's simple, it's easy. I love the images, the colors speak to me, and it really was exciting to me when I opened up this deck. Like, the colors were something that I needed this month, or at least at the end of the month, because I got it in towards the end of the month. And I worked with it alongside the Narrative Alchemy Tarot by Krissie Bentley. These two worked really, really well for me. This was my tarot and oracle combination. I just kind of let the ancestors speak to me and let me know, hey, how do I need to work with these messages from this deck this month? And what are you trying to tell me here? Because I really had to clue in. I needed the guidance that this deck was able to give me. And it may sound crazy, guys, but I was going through something in February. I really don't know what it was, but at the beginning of the month, I got these readings that just said, you need to go back to basics. And everything that I was hearing was that I needed to take it back to basics. Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Am I doing too much? Am I committing to too much? How am I responding? How is my inertia with everything else? Like, I really needed to get back to my basics. And I think sometimes we overexpand and we expect too much of ourselves, and I just couldn't anymore. I just had to stop. So those were my 3 new decks that I got in this month. And then the Tarot of the Drowning World, my goodness, this deck just calls me back again and again. And again, I just can't figure out what it is, but this deck has some sort of magic where it just keeps pulling you back. The readings are deep and beautiful, and sometimes I don't even understand what I'm looking at, but I still feel called to this deck. There is just something about it, and working with it alongside the Narrative Alchemy Tarot was very grounding for me. So it really did help. This deck is just something else. I don't know. I can't even tell you what it is, guys. Now I'm getting into some of the other decks that really just help ground me during this time that just felt so incredibly heavy to me. The Gentle Tarot, this is the first edition. This is my baby. This is the one that just holds so much of my soul. It just can't even be described. And I worked with it alongside the Song of the Grandmothers because, of course, I needed to be hugged. I needed to be loved. I needed to be told the truth, but not in a harsh way. And the Gentle Tarot is always good for that. And the Song of the Grandmothers just, again, delivered that voice of my abuelas, my mom, just my elders, just all of like these beautiful arms coming around me and just holding me and just loving me through this. I needed this month, and these 2 decks were there for me in that respect. Now, these 2 decks may seem like a very unlikely pair, but they were outstanding. They were amazing together. This is the Death Doula Oracle, and this is the Lioness Oracle Tarot. And I would have never thought to pair these 2 together, but I woke up one morning and I thought, I need the Lioness Oracle Tarot. And so I pulled it and I looked around. I thought, oh my gosh, the Death Doula. This combination is so good. Again, it just really delivered the caring and loving messages that I needed. things that I needed to work on and things to support me in that work. I cannot even describe how these two work together. It was just beautiful, just wonderful. And like I said, I would have never thought of putting these two together, but when I did, it was really, really good. So, you know, this month was really different for me. I got a message early on that I just needed to pull back, get back to basics. And so I did. I had to come back to the real reason I came to tarot to begin with. I needed support. I needed love. And there's a lot of energy going around right now. And I was sending out a lot of healing this month. And this month, it affected me. Usually, I'm okay. I'm protected when I'm working with energy and sending out energy and doing healings. Usually I'm protected and I'm okay. But this month was very, very different. And I'm not quite sure why. But, you know, when you get those cues, guys, pay attention. Like, pull back, figure out what you need, and don't feel bad about not doing the things that you have been doing. Just pull back, take it back to your basics, and you'll feel comforted by it. And that's kind of what I did here this month. Now, one of the outstanding things that happened to me this month is that I won this little box set, this little gift set from my friend over at feathermoonshop.com. She was doing a giveaway and I entered it on Instagram by just liking the post. And then she went ahead and stated that I had won. I was one of the 3 winners and I didn't even realize it. I had liked the post and I didn't even realize it. So she walked into the yoga class and she gave me this box. I'm like, what is this box for? And she's like, you won. You liked the post. Didn't you see? You won. So it was a great surprise. It came in at the end of the month. I was so happy to receive it. But I have to share with you guys this beautiful smudge spray because it is seriously one of the best. I know you guys can't smell it, but if we had smell-o-vision, oh my goodness, you guys, see, I have to spray it. This is incredible. It has sage, of course, and lemon, witch hazel, Himalayan sea salt, water, and then it has this little clear quartz chip in here, and she infused it with Reiki energy. It is just the most wonderful smudge spray that I have ever encountered. Seriously, I'm not saying this because she's my friend. I'm saying it because it's real. This is amazing. And then also, I tied it back up because I was doing a little Instagram post on it, but this soap is so good. This is a sage and lavender soap, and I'm gonna use it today. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells so good, but this is a handmade soap and it just smells so good. I love it. And I am just so jazzed that I won this. And again, everything just kind of shifted for me. I don't know how, I don't know why, but like the 27th and the 28th of February, everything kind of shifted for me. I got a message from my friend Tara and we kind of went back and forth on text for a little bit, and that made me feel a little bit lighter. And then a couple days later, I had a conversation with Suzi from Suzi Gemini. Oh my goodness, if you don't follow her on Instagram and on YouTube, she talks about astrology. She's so knowledgeable and she's just a beautiful person inside and out. I had a conversation with her and it was just so soothing. I am so blessed to be within this community and the people that I've met as a result of yoga and just being within this community. I've met so many wonderful people and I'm just so thankful for it. So that's it, guys. That is my monthly wrap up. I appreciate you guys being here. I wish you a beautiful day and I will see you later.